Cockney Son, now don't be daft. We've got proper opinions and plenty of graft. Old school chat with a podcast twist. So stick the kettle on, you don't want to miss. Cockney Son, 2 generations in 1 London. Cool, blimey, governor.
Welcome to the first ever episode of Cockney Son, 2 generations, 1 London. I'm Lewis and this is my dad,
Steve.
Born and raised in Fulham, SW6, before it went posh.
That's right, son.
Each week we are having a proper chat about life in London, past and present, some laughs, some moans, and maybe even a little bit of wisdom.
Yeah.
From me.
I can do that.
From me or you?
Well, both of us, I should imagine.
When I first said to you I wanted to start a podcast, what was actually going through your head?
I thought, what's a podcast?
So tell everyone a bit about where you grew up in Fulham, a little bit of life before it was all about trendy coffee bars and designer dogs.
When I was born in 1957,
Yeah.
right, I was born in St Stephen's Hospital, which is now Chelsea or Westminster. I lived in a road opposite Chelsea football ground.
Yeah.
And it was all like, it's just working class area for them. And like, you know, like my mum, she had like 2 jobs.
What were her jobs?
She was a cleaner. She used to do people's houses, and then she used to work in an hotel. It's just a bucket and sponge then. None of these products to make it easier.
Yeah. What's been the biggest difference, the biggest change in Fulham when you was growing up to now? Obviously, it's made in Chelsea, isn't it?
Well, it's like, you know, as you say, where we lived in the houses was just,
yeah.
There was no bathroom.
But when you say no bathroom, you mean you went in outside in the
garden into the
what was that called? A back house? No, that's not what that's called.
No, it was called it was called garden, but it was, some people used to call it the backyard.
So 2 o'clock in the morning, you really need to go to the toilet. You had
to go
outside.
We weren't allowed to go out in the dark. We had a bucket.
Candle.
We had a bucket.
Hello.
I'm not Wee Willie Winky.
Yeah. Is it a chamber pot?
No, just a bucket.
That's a posh word for it. It's chamber pot.
Yeah. We just had a bucket because you weren't allowed. Because back in them days, like people used to use chamber pots.
Yeah.
Do their week and push it under the bed. It used to make the bed springs go rusty. So they stopped it.
Is that true?
Well, yeah, this is what I heard. So there was no central heating. We only had like the coal fire.
Yeah.
In the front room. The rest of the house was freezing. You know, when you got into bed, it was like, and you know, obviously back then there was no duvets.
Yeah.
Blankets, and if you still felt cold, Mum, I'm cold. She used to sling a coat on.
So what you're saying is Fulham back then is nothing like what it is.
Oh no, it's nothing.
Nowadays.
I mean, you wander around now. I mean, people that have moved out of Fulham, if they haven't been back for years, they'd be surprised. It's all changed. And you've got a lot of, as you say, coffee bars spring up everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's just, you know, and all these posh sort of bakeries.
Yeah. You've walked the streets.
I've been there. You know, I've never left.
So is there anything that's not in Fulham that you really wish stayed? What was the one thing that you wish that's moved away and gone?
What's gone? I think what should have stayed was the Fulham swimming baths.
The bathhouse. What do you mean that? Do you, when you say this, because do you mean swimming as in you're going swimming? Or bathhouse?
No, in swimming. It was that as well. You had the 3 different pools. You had men and boys,
yeah,
women and girls, or mixed.
Yeah.
So it all depends which one you want to go in.
Yeah.
And then down the end, you walk past there, you had your wash house where all the mums that used to take their washing,
yeah,
to get it done, and you also had your baths.
The bath situation.
Bath was, you know, if you never had a bath in your house,
yeah,
which a lot of people didn't, you should go down there. You paid, I think it was 13 pence,
13p,
and you got a towel and a small bar of soap, and you had half hour.
What did you do with the soap? Did you use it all in one wash? Or
Yeah, because it was only small. It was enough to wash you all, like, you know. And
I need to see a picture of these.
And little white bar of soap, and you had half an hour maximum, right? Then the guy who was there used to bang 5 minutes to go, and like if you're lying in the bath, you think, oh lovely. Then the water started to get a bit on the cool side. You shout out, more water number 3, more hot water number 3, and he'd come along and he would pour more water in it.
I just don't think I could, like, so when did you get your own room or you
No, you got your own bath.
What, secluded?
Yeah, it's like going into...
It's not like one bath, one bath.
No. Every bath had their own... You were secluded.
Right,
it's like
private.
It's like going...
13p.
Yeah, it's like going into a changing room at the sports centre and you had your own cubicle.
Right.
So you had your own bath. You had your own bath.
Is this a good towel? Would you say? I think a good towel is like a proper big towel. Or was this like what I call like...
It wasn't. It's not like the bath towels you get nowadays.
No.
It was just a little towel. But some people used to take their own towels and their own soap.
No offense, but I can envision these towels being really hard. You know, like when you get a towel and it's just not had the right fabric softener in it.
Well, that's where it's all gone wrong. You know,
you
you should take
sandpaper yourself dry.
You used to take your old skin off.
Did you get a mirror in the room?
There was a mirror there, yeah.
So you could do your skincare regime.
There was no skincare back then. Nah. It was the only...
5 steps.
It was the worst name. It was
more
moisturiser.
moisturiser.
It was the more carbolic soap that used to take the skin off your face.
What did you have at home then?
Just a tin bath.
Tin bath.
Yeah, the tin bath that used to take ages filling up.
What, by baboiling it?
Boiling the water on the stove and then pouring it into the
bath.
Into the tin bath.
And then the fire kept the tin bath hot.
And you would sit by the fire.
Isn't tin like bad for you?
Well, they didn't know that back then, did they? Okay. But it's like
all the kids are glowing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
time to get out now.
It's like the lead paint they used to paint.
Oh, that's what I meant, lead. Yeah, I got the two mixed up.
No, the lead paint was on the cots.
Do you still live in London, but you live in Victoria?
Pimlico, actually.
Pimlico, in your little basement townhouse.
I do, yes.
Very lovely. If you know what we're talking about, the white ones.
With the pillars, yeah.
Central London as a whole, now, 2025, do you still like living there?
Yes, the part I live in is it's nice.
Yeah, the part you live in is very lovely.
It is nice.
3 bin pickups a day.
I mean, you're 5 minutes from the King's Road, Sloane Square.
Yeah.
You know, King's Road is not as good as it used to be. I mean, 60s and 70s, King's Road was like thriving. You know, all different boutiques and that. But now, as you say, you got your
fashion.
You still got your boutiques, but you got your obviously coffee shops again.
So you just walk down the King's Road going, oh, that's where that used to be. That's where that used to be. It's rubbish. Look at that coffee shop.
Yeah, but that's like anywhere. People, you know, if they go back to their own towns or their own villages and all that, they're going to notice a change, aren't they?
So do you think you could ever see yourself living in the countryside?
Well, I don't know about really rural. Because it's like...
move out a little bit further.
Yeah, I could see myself living there, but it's like...
Well, you might have to. I've looked at a few homes.
Well, yeah.
Nearby, walking distance.
Yeah, the homes. When I was doing the prescriptions, actually, when I was delivering the prescriptions, I used to do a couple of short accommodations, the homes. It was like...
Did they ask you why you wandered out of your room?
They tried to get me back in 3 times.
The first topic that we're ever going to talk about on our podcast, and the title of this section each week is A Bit of a Natter.
Okay. Far away, sir.
Say a bit of a natter.
Bit of a natter.
Bit of a natter. Bit of a natter. There's captions. So inflation is the posh word.
Inflation.
Explain inflation to me.
Inflation.
Explain it to me.
Well, inflation is when things go up.
What is your space?
A ridiculous amount.
Right, but why do they go up?
Because people put their prices up. It's like
but why do they put
money.
the prices up? What is the reason that they put prices go up?
To rip you off.
Because I feel like I need to ask you this before you start moaning about how much everything costs.
Well, it is. It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Right. But there is a reason why inflation exists.
Well, some places they say, well, it's the cost, the rates and the rent of various
the properties
and all that. But
they need to make money.
It's like the garages, right?
Right.
The petrol garages.
Okay.
Right. You go to somewhere like Shell, most expensive one.
Right. We don't know that for sure.
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
Esso, you got one in Fulham Road.
Yeah.
And about a 5-minute walk, you got another one in the New Kings Road.
Yeah.
Different prices.
Yeah.
Same. But you go out a bit.
Yeah.
I was on the Alien Island the other week.
But that's quite far from Fulham High Street.
But the price of petrol there, $1.28.
Right. So but there's obviously a reason for that.
Yeah, but if that garage could make a profit selling petrol at $1.28, Why is the prices 134, 136 in London?
Like, I think I know the answer to that.
Go on then, tell me.
I would say because not as many people fill up their cars in Fulham as Hayling Island, because that's why you have the congestion charge. So obviously that petrol station needs to make more money than everyone filling it up in Hayling Island. See how I just got that right?
You got that right.
Do you
But
understand that now?
No, I understand it, but I think it's just you're being ripped off because you're being ripped off because.
Well, that's not an argument, though, is it?
Well, it is
Being
because
ripped off.
you're living in London because a lot of people out of London think if you live in London you must be rich.
Right.
But it's not that. We're paying more prices for the same products as out of London. So how's that?
You're lucky that you fill up a car in London, then, aren't you?
Well,
You got a freedom pass. You don't have to pay for anything at all.
I've got a freedom
How
pass.
much did it cost you to get here today?
Nothing.
Well, there you go then. You've made your money back on that 2p that
Yeah,
you
but
lost.
I've had to work hard for that.
Why?
Well,
I'm not paying you yet until we get.
No, I'm just saying.
sponsorship.
I've worked hard to get that freedom
Right.
pass.
Anyway, right. Inflation.
Yes.
That was very well explained.
Well, what about the baked beans?
No, we're not going on baked beans yet. I know
What about baked
you're
beans?
eager to talk
I
about
am.
baked beans, but before we do that, I'm just going to give you a comparison.
go
Obviously, we
on.
know reasons why there's inflation. You obviously don't. But so obviously, early 70s.
Yes.
You're going into the supermarket. You
Yeah.
pick up a loaf of bread.
Yeah.
Do you remember how much that was?
No, it must only be about 10 pence or something like that.
Close.
Something like
9p.
9p.
Right.
For a loaf of bread.
For a loaf of bread. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, 2025, how much do you think a loaf is? Oh, actually, let's see how well off you are.
A loaf of bread.
How much is a loaf of bread?
Well, all depends what you go for.
No, I just want a standard loaf
Standard
of bread.
white bread. Yeah, standard
if I
white
want
bread.
my kids to have sugar, yeah.
Right, so if you go for one of the...
Just need an answer.
yeah, I'm getting to that.
Okay.
I was just saying, but if you go for somewhere like... Cause
Got a
you're
lot
not,
of editing to do.
you're not allowed to say the name of the company.
You can. Do
All
you
right.
have a preference?
You go for Warburton's.
What is it?
Warburton's. Is it Warburton's or King's Mill?
That's a different company. Did you switch because it was easier to say Kingsmill?
Most probably.
Warburton's.
Yeah. But that's
How
about,
much is a loaf of
about
Kingsmill?
£1. That's about £1.40.
That is
£1.
actually
Yeah.
bang on.
But if you get a supermarket's own loaf bread, white bread, it's about 85p.
Right. Milk.
Yes.
But let's not go in for a big explanation. I
Okay.
just need answers. Milk. You've walked into a supermarket,
Yeah.
early 70s.
Yeah.
How much?
A pint of milk?
Yeah.
A pint of milk back then in the 70s would take you around about 5p.
Did you look at these answers?
No, sir, I've got a good memory.
5p, well done. Right.
Yeah.
You're going to go today, pick up your pint of milk. How much is it?
Oh, it's about 85p, isn't it? 90 pence.
95p, apparently.
Okay, there you go.
I think it sounds quite cheap, though. Eggs,
Really?
go. Dozen of eggs.
Dozen eggs.
Do it faster.
Dozen eggs. Back in the day, you're talking about 20 pence.
18p.
There you go.
£3.50, he says. I think that's quite a lot. And how much did you rent? Where did you first live where you had to pay rent?
Where was I living?
Can you remember back that far?
Yeah, I'm trying to have a little flashback. It was when I was living with me.
Is this a family member?
Yeah.
So, did you ever pay rent to a landlord?
Only when I got married.
Right, so forget the question.
Yes.
You just stayed at home until you got married? Or stayed with family until you got married?
And various other people.
Right, okay, we won't go into that. Right, okay, so what could you get for a tenner? You've got a tenner in your pocket, you've gone out, early 70s, what could you do with a tenner?
Oh, you could.
Tenner?
Tenner? Well, he's thinking that's like a week's wage.
That is.
Watched the programme the other night, the Fair Dodgers, and I was quite surprised how many people are still trying to bump the fares.
Yeah.
I mean, we used to do that when we was little. Like,
Well, that was probably not as hard, was it?
no, it wasn't hard. We used to bump the boat. It used to be. We'd be on a bus and try not, when the conductor come along.
What did the conductor used to say if he caught you on the bus without paying? Get off, I'll clip your ear.
Yeah, it'd be like that. You got on a bus,
Yeah.
cost you $1.65. You could do the whole route of the bus.
Yeah.
Back then, you had to pay. You had to
Per
tell him where
stop.
you was going.
Oh,
And
that's effort.
And you say, I'm going Fulham Broadway, and it'd be cheaper then someone would be... Yeah, he had his machine. He'd go click, click, different film fit.
Why don't they have bus conductors on buses nowadays?
Well, save money, innit?
Is that the only reason?
That's the only reason I got rid of him, because then the driver used to take the money.
Yeah.
But now he don't even have to do that.
Easy job though, innit? I bet when contactless came in, the bus drivers were like, oh, thank God
Well,
for
yeah,
that.
because now he sits behind the shield,
Bulletproof.
the old shield, and then, look, he ain't got to take any money. So he's just concentrating on letting the people on, making sure they tap in.
I told you the subject of the podcast.
Well,
it's like inflation, how much things cost now, then and now, and you was like, beans.
Baked beans, it's like ridiculous.
Right. Go.
Last May...
Yeah. Wait, hang on. Prepare yourself, everyone, for a riveting story about baked beans.
Last May...
Yeah.
Right.
Last May.
Last May, 24...
Back in my day...
No, only last year.
Okay.
A tin of baked beans was 90... Heinz baked beans was 95 pence.
Right.
165 now.
Right.
How can it possibly go up that much?
Inflation.
It's baked bean.
Inflation.
Yeah, but you go to... I was in Asda the other day.
Right.
I've got a tin of their own baked beans.
The yellow ones.
No, not yellow ones.
That would have been even cheaper then.
These 55 pence.
How much was the yellow one?
No idea, I didn't look at them.
Why?
Because that's in a different section. It was 55 pence. And you're thinking, why Heinz are charging the over a pound more when it's mostly from the same factory?
So if I got Heinz baked beans in a little dish, and of course you mentioned Asda,
what's that?
Mixed it up,
Yeah.
you don't know.
Oh yeah.
Do you think,
like a blind test, you mean?
Do you think that you wouldn't know the difference?
Most probably, but then it's like.
So what I'm saying is, you just said you just said most probably.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is,
you could go into a cafe, right?
Yeah.
And have your full English, you eat your beans.
Yeah.
You don't know whether they're Heinz or not. Oh, they're nice. But all the personal.
Oh, they're nice.
It's all personal taste, isn't it? But
that's what I'm saying. So if
you think there must be only a factory that does baked beans.
Yeah.
So they're only putting their labels on their tins.
But I don't think it's the same baked bean and the same baked bean juice.
Yeah, but what you mean the sauce?
What I'm saying, it's not like there's a secret baked bean factory where Heinz are coming in.
That's what I mean.
£1.65 as they're coming in going, 1.85p for that.
I know.
It's a different ingredient.
I know, but some of them.
I do like the cheaper. I like the taste of stuff that's a lot cheaper.
I like the Asda beans.
Right. So why are you moaning about the £1.85?
Because it's like...
You just went in the shop, you saw it, you just want to have a moan.
Yeah, I did. I went...
£1.85?
And it's only the same size tin, you know what I mean? Consider if it was a bigger tin, but it's like the... what's that now?
They used to do the screw lid ones.
That's true. The ones you put in your
Dish
fridge.
it as you go.
Yeah, exactly. But you've got what's that now? Certain chocolate bars.
Right, no, we're
they got smaller.
beans.
Yeah, I know, but they got smaller.
Right.
But they charge you the same price as it was when it was bigger.
It's like Walkers.
It's outrageous.
It is, but that's inflation.
I know, you pick out a packet of crisps now.
That's my argument.
You've got about 3 crisps in there.
Yeah.
It's all full of air, isn't it? That's how they do. That's how they get. You think you're getting a bag of crisps, you open it like that, and you're looking in.
Yeah.
You have to get a torch.
Well, do you know what I'm going to get you for your birthday?
What's that then?
A packet of 6 baked beans. Moving on to the next section of our podcast, which is the rant of the week. I know that we feel like this podcast so far has just been my dad ranting about how bad things are here.
No, we're just talking
London
about...
2025.
We're just talking about...
But this is the actual rant section.
Okay.
So when I went through the podcast, the running order, I didn't say rant about this, rant about that.
We're just talking about
this is just going to change
inflation
the name.
you was talking about.
Yeah, but everything has turned into a massive rant about everything. And then you weave into another thing that you can rant about.
Well, it's true. There's a lot of...
ranting to do. We should have just called it not Cockney Son. My dad's just going to rant about things.
No. Yeah, you've got
to get it off his chest.
You've got to have a little rant, haven't you?
Okay, well, you do for a specific section of the podcast.
All right.
So here we go. This section is called Getting the Ump.
Getting the ump.
Getting the ump. Do you get the ump a lot?
Not really, no.
I don't think you. I think you were quite laid back.
No, I'm not.
Compared to some
No, I mean,
people.
I like having a laugh and all that, you know.
It's just baked beans that annoy you.
Yeah, certain things get, you know, but you just got to get on with it, you know.
Let me do the intro, okay?
Yeah, go on then.
Dad's rant of the week. This week, what's done you nuts? Dad.
It's the woman, isn't it? That Rachel Reeves, isn't it?
Rachel Reeves. So before we get on, you're going to rant about Rachel Reeves and you're just going to rant about it from what you've seen on TV. Have you done any research?
Yes, I have.
Have you got any sources of
I
information?
Have. Yes.
You have?
Yes.
Right.
It's...
Tony.
Well, it's not... Yeah, mate, Tony.
Yeah.
He knows quite a bit.
I'm going to put him down as reference Tony.
Yeah.
Whilst having a cheap pint at Wetherspoons.
He worked for the government. But what she done, she took away the fuel allowance last year.
First of all, I know that everyone probably knows what the fuel allowance is. But just quickly mention what the fuel allowance is.
The fuel allowance is a payment that was paid to pensioners to help them through the winter months.
So how old?
Well...
Over 60?
Yeah, state... what's it called? If you got your pension, state pension, upwards.
Right.
So
okay.
66 upwards. You got fuel allowance.
How much is it?
It's normally £300.
£300.
Yeah.
Oh, everywhere.
Everywhere, but all depends if there's.
If you live in Manchester, you live in London. It's free,
if you're a pensioner, you get it's £300. But if you're a couple, I think you used to get. I think that, I'm not sure if both got it, but they got some sort of payment.
Yeah.
Anyway, when the Labour won the election and they came in, first of all, she's gone. Well, there's a black hole of £22 billion or something, so we're going to take away the fuel allowance of the pensioners.
So basically, they give these pensioners £300 towards winter fuel,
towards their heating,
and now they've taken it away.
They took it away.
So that's what
I got it.
Got it.
I got it the first year, and I didn't get it this year because it was taken away.
Did it warm up your house, your flat in Victoria?
Well, I couldn't put the heat on, could I?
No, when you did have it.
Oh, it was lovely.
Toasty. £300 did you for the whole winter?
Well, yeah, not the whole winter, but it helped.
Yeah.
It was. Some people
rely on that, obviously.
Well, of course they do. And then when they took it away, and you're thinking, they took it away, and it upset a lot of pensioners. Obviously, of course, some of them haven't got a private pension. Because when they was younger, they didn't have private. They just. So they live on a state pension.
Have you got pension?
I have, yes. From
a good one.
Not bad.
So ring up Rachel Reeves.
Yeah.
You're on the phone to her.
Yeah. I said, Miss Reeves.
Yeah.
I said,
You're not on first name terms.
Not yet. I said, Miss Reeves, with this fuel allowance business that you know.
Why are you going posh?
If you want to, well, because she's a bit posh, isn't it? So if you're going to take away the fuel allowance, why didn't you do it the following year? And you hit the pension straight away, bang. You're going to take away the fuel allowance.
Well, she hit him.
So if you'd have said we're going to take away the fuel allowance in 2025, people would have had over a whole year to get used to it. But you went bang straight away, and that upset a few people.
Yeah,
well, a lot of people. She went, well,
Is that Steve?
We got this black hole of 22 billion. We've got to take money from somewhere. Well, why the pensions? But now I think because of the last by-elections with the other party. Reform, I think they're getting a bit scared now that they're might be losing a few places there. So she's done a U-turn now. Yeah. And she's done it now that if you earn up to 35,000, you're going to get it back.
So I feel like you're now going to be the voice, not of this next question, to the pensioners of the United Kingdom. So if the government start taking away more benefits for them, what are you going to say? What are you going to say to the Prime Minister?
Well, I'm going to say, that's outrageous. They've worked all their lives, some pensioners.
Hello, Steve. Can you come into number 10?
Yeah, I'll come in.
The Prime Minister will see you now. So, Steve, what do you want to say about...
I'll say, well, Mr. Khan. No, not Khan.
No,
Mr.
that's the mayor.
Starmer.
Yeah.
I'll say, why are you picking on the pensioners?
What is the answer, though? What is the outcome that you...
Well, just make cuts in other things.
Like what? About what?
Well, all the benefits they keep paying out to, other services.
Right, like police and firemen.
No, the police and the firemen.
The NHS.
They earn their money. They earn their money, but
NHS.
But it's like people that are claiming that they can't work.
Right.
When they know they can work.
Okay.
So
that needs to be investigated more.
Yeah, of course.
And that money that they save, that needs to be given to pension.
And why
Just to recap, Rachel Reeves has done your nutting.
Yeah, I think she's just done a U-turn because they're scared they're going to lose the next...
And also, they could be thinking, right, I've got this money back, but am I going to have it next winter?
But where do they get this money? So where are they getting the money to pay the pensioners? If they've taken it away because they needed the money,
yeah.
But all of a sudden, they can start paying it back. So where all of a sudden, if there was a 22 billion black hole, where's the money come from to pay it back? It just makes you wonder.
Maybe she started a GoFundMe.
It just makes you wonder, doesn't it?
So as a pensioner, retired pensioner, are you struggling?
Some days.
Oh, my baked beans.
I worked till I've only been retired
You
a year.
did work, so you worked. So this hasn't been mentioned on this podcast. You worked for the Royal Mail for
42 years.
42 years. I delivered letters for the Queen.
For the Queen, we had communications. I was, Telegram boy, which was a good job. I like that.
Well, you've worked enough to enjoy your retirement then, haven't you?
So I only retired last May.
And now you're doing, we'll be doing a world-renowned podcast.
I left school when I was 15.
I'm not paying you. There's no pension for this.
I worked from when I was 15. So
I pay you in, about 30 cups of tea?
Yeah, you do.
In here?
Exactly. The price of that now.
Therapy dog.
The price of tea, and yeah.
And get to enjoy picking up your grandchildren.
Oh, love it, yeah.
There you go. Right, so that was your little rant of the week. It was very, very long, and I actually dozed off a bit. I'm not going to lie to you. So the next section of the podcast, where the general public, general public as in the followers of Two Dads in London, ask a question for advice, whether that's work-related, career relationship thing.
Go on, son. Fire it. Let me hear it.
So this is it's kind of relationship, but not actually anything to do with the relationship itself. Thank God, because after the tester, I did get quite a lot of tightly with your dad up until the relationship advice.
Well, couldn't I handle it, no?
Well, I think it was quite like, maybe you don't want to marry her.
Well, people don't want to hear that.
You need to go watch the tester if you haven't noticed.
No, but people.
Poor lady just wanted to set a date, and you probably filled her with questions of am I going to marry this guy?
But sometimes people, people don't like to hear what how it is said.
Well, we're about to find out.
I mean, you can't just sugarcoat these things. You got to tell them as it is.
Right.
You
Good.
know?
Well,
I could have told her, oh yeah, you can. He's going to marry you. You're going to wait, but you can't always do that. You got to do both sides. Yeah.
You just got to be brutally honest.
Yeah, exactly. You got to do both sides.
That's the way.
It's the way. Yeah.
Do we need to be more brutally honest in 2025?
Well, no, all depends, isn't it? Sometimes people need that little bit of, you can't keep going, oh, yeah, you see some of the parents with their kids, oh, no, you can't do that, Santander, India, you can't do that. Right. I mean, it's the way some of the kids talk to their parents. I mean, I wouldn't even get that sentence out before I was knocked out.
Final section that we're going to be doing discussions on is the advice corner, which I've thought, what could I name this section that you would understand it? Given that you have great expertise in analysing what inflation means. So advice corner is going to be known as Use Your Loaf.
Okay.
Advice corner, Use Your Loaf. You're going to give them the answers to their questions. Started off, hi, Cockney Son. It didn't really, because they didn't know what the name is. I've added that in so people know what the name is. Hi, Cockney Son. I've been living with my partner for 2 years, and every time I ask him to help with the housework, he says, I'll do it later. Which usually means never. Should I leave it, nag him, or start charging him per dirty dish?
Is it only the dishes? Or is it everything?
No, it just says housework. So housework, I guess,
is... talking about all the housework, yeah.
Washing clothes, cooking, cleaning, hoovering, basically what I do for free.
Yeah. No, he should do his bit.
Right.
Yeah. Why not?
But he says he'll do it later.
No, you can't. Why do it later?
How much housework did you used to do?
I do.
What do you do now? Do you do housework in your house?
Yeah, of course.
How often do you do that?
Well, I do the old hoovering at least twice a week and all that.
Yeah, some people do it every single day online.
Well, no, but you do it, but it just keeps coming back.
Yeah.
No point.
Right, so you're saying so basically she's asking what she should start charging him per dirty dish. That's a bit weird though.
No, don't charge. Just
Money.
I don't know why do it later. If you do it now, do it when it's needed. Then it's done and it's out the way.
My house is tidy.
Well, you've got kids, haven't you? No house is going to be tidy with kids.
That's a polite way of saying no.
Well, no, it is tidy, but I mean, you can't expect to have a show house when you've got kids.
Yeah.
There's no point.
No.
So.
Have you got a share house?
No.
Have you got kids?
No, but I mean, my house is tidy.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't untidy it, can I? It's only me.
It's a bachelor pad.
Exactly. So if I go and get something.
Could you handle someone coming into your space now after all these years?
What, to live with me?
Yeah. Let's just say you're only 68.
68, yeah.
You could, if you got with someone. I've got a new mother.
They come in,
and they moved in with you. Could you handle that, do you think?
All depends. If they start moving stuff about.
All your madness memorabilia, your Only Fools and Horses memorabilia.
And they'll start moving their stuff about and, all right, they're going to put their own little...
Spin on it,
which is fair enough. But, I don't know, that's hard. That's an hard question.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to ever happen. Well, you never know, do you? Well, exactly. I mean,
you could be on that show. From this, you'll get so famous.
Well, I thought I got recognised the other day, actually.
Right.
Yes.
By a policeman?
Yes.
No.
So, no, getting back to this, no, I don't see why the partner keeps saying, I want to do it later. Just do it now. And then
it's nagging though, isn't it?
It's
marriage. I'll do it now.
Yeah.
There's always competition. Even me and Richard, he thinks he works, you know what he does.
Yes, I know what he does.
Then he moans that the dinner is not cooked.
Well, I didn't think that still went on. I think that's like an old thing. Well, the man used to come home from work and expect his dinner to be on the table.
Well, I don't think he expects to be on the table, but he expects the ingredients to be in the fridge.
No, but I mean, back then it was that's what happened, and
Uber. But what I'm saying
that's what it is now.
But what I'm saying, this is the issue that I always have with this sort of stuff. Obviously, naturally, whoever's in the relationship, one person becomes more of the person who does all the housework. Doesn't mean that they enjoy doing it.
No, of course.
Unless you love doing it, like.
Well, some people do love doing it, don't they?
Mrs. Hinch, do you know who she is?
Yeah, no, who's she? She's some cleaning lady, isn't it? No, but I mean, she could. What she could do.
Just leave it.
Not leave it. It's like
a rota.
No, say to him like, here's your plate, here's your side plate, here's your bowl, your spoon, your knife and fork. If it ain't washed up, you're not getting nothing to eat.
Just reapply the dinner onto it.
Well, it's
just gets petty then, isn't it?
Or just get.
Well, just like then, just before Richard left.
Or just
what did he say?
About his shoes.
Yeah. What did he say though?
What?
Where are they?
Yeah, you couldn't find his shoes.
Right, and everyone knows that we just had wardrobes built, and I separated everything.
Yeah.
And he's like, I can't find his shoes. Do you think it'd be hard to find shoes in this house?
No, but did he find them?
No.
Well, it must be hard to find them. Or otherwise tell.
That's what I'm saying.
Or tell her to get paper plates.
But what I'm saying is that's what Richard did. Nothing against what Richard did.
Yeah.
Picking your own shoes up. Yeah. But that's a prime example. Why do I know where your shoes are? If you put them away, you know where they are.
You should do.
Exactly.
Yeah, of course you should.
There you go.
You should do. I know where all my clothes and all my shoes and all that are.
Well, no one's moving them.
That's true.
Right, so before this, coming to the end of the first episode, hopefully we've still got people listening.
Hope so.
So what we're going to do is, at the end of every episode, you're going to ask someone, you're going to give a example of Cockney slang, and then we're going to ask the listeners to comment on the brand new Cockney Son Instagram account.
I can do that.
So I'm going to let you have an Instagram account now.
Really?
But I am going to monitor it.
I don't want all them nutty followers.
They will. They'll start DMing you going, I want a date.
Oh, yeah?
I want a date.
I'll show average, show you.
They say, baked beans? Baked beans in a pint.
Yeah.
What kind of baked beans? Heinz. We got money then.
Yeah, got money. Yeah, if you get enticed with a tin of Heinz baked beans.
So God knows what. I will have to monitor the DMs of this. Try not to reply.
I won't. No, I don't. Well, how do you reply?
There we go. I'm not going to teach you. So you essentially will have an Instagram account.
Yeah.
That members of the public can
Oh, no.
message you.
Could be-
But it's the Cockney Son one.
Yeah.
Okay? Which
Okay.
I will be monitoring.
Okay.
I will be monitoring that as well.
Okay.
So you can do your own stories on there whenever you want. If you're in a shop and you see something like a baked bean tin, that
What, you want me to walk around talking to me?
do
phone?
whatever. Yeah.
I don't know if I can do that.
You could do it. Talk to yourself.
People look at
Just
you.
put a phone in front of you.
Well, people look at you, don't they? And think, what's the matter with him?
Probably say it's not well, that man.
Yeah.
Getting back in the home.
Yeah, quick.
We will reveal the answer at the beginning of next week's episode.
Next week.
But you can have a guess
Yes.
in the comments of our Instagram page. So, what is the Cockney slang term this week?
It's gonna the Cockney slang this week is what is Cockney rhyme slang for dustbin lid?
Can you use it in a sentence, please?
Yeah, I can. Do you want me to?
Well, it's not if it's going to give it away.
Okay.
Dustbin lid.
Yeah, dustbin lid. It's rhyming slang.
Dustbin lid.
Oh, look over there. Look at them dustbin lids.
Look at them dustbin lids. There we go. So that's the Cockney slang phrase for this week. So if you know what that is and you see this video, comment underneath and we will reveal next week's episode if you are correct. So that's coming to the end. So we're going to do the outro now. Okay. So how do you think it's gone for your first episode? Have you enjoyed it?
I enjoyed it very much. It was nice. It was good. Yeah, to get
Once we set it up again,
it was nice. We've got a few.
We've
done a few topics.
Swerved a few areas. Some hours of editing that I don't need to do now. We swerved it. Right, that's it for our first ever episode of Cockney Son. If you liked it, follow the show, leave a review, and tell someone who remembers when Fulham was all council flats and corner shops. We'll be back next week with more rants, more laughs, and the answers to this week's slang. Dustbin lit. See you later. Say bye then.
Cheerio. And
Cheerio, but be back soon.
Cheerio. And if you need a shoulder to cry on, call me any day, any time, any night. I'm your man.
Is that what your new
That's my new
dating
saying.
profile?
That's my new profile saying.
But they don't want to call you.
No,
Don't even DM him.
No.
Episode 1.